Hey friends, this is class notes number 6, still in November 2021. So today I filmed a bit more of our warm-up because we haven't done so in the previous weeks. Starting off with a very gentle joint rotations. I didn't film that. Starting from the feet up, basically preparing ankles, knee joints, hips, the spine, the shoulders, elbows and wrists, and also the neck. Before we moved into long lunges and loosening up the lunge position, and now we changed into the lateral lunge position, starting off very gently again with our weight on our hands, just getting used to the position after a long day of probably sitting and working at a desk or driving your car. Moving straight from loosening into a little bit of adding resistance or focusing on strength here, and then moving on into figuring out your own adjustments of the day. So that's kind of the work I do on a daily basis, using stances that I will use in my practice, and finding the proper alignment for this particular day, because depending on how much tension or where you carry tension around in your body, you need to adjust your stances on a day-to-day basis, basically. After that, we went into the preparation of the snake smooth body palm, which is still the main topic of our class at this moment. We are in week number 6 of preparing for or practicing the snake smooth body palm. So it's the end of the circle, and starting next week, we'll move into the next palm change of our system, the dragon palm change. But for now, we prepared for the snake smooth body palm first with a lot of repetitions. I just filmed a few before entering the Tiangan movements number 1 and 2 here, in order to move up from the leg dominant snake smooth body palm preparation, moves into more spine oriented, hip oriented work with the Tiangan exercises. This one is especially well suited for the extension of your back. Tiangan number 1, first variation, and followed by variation number 2, which is more about the rib area and sides of your ribs, the side of your back, and moving later on into the second Tiangan of our system, which is also concerned with a diagonal line and building up strength in this direction. So this is still Tiangan number 1B, and moving into opening the side of your body, breathing in on the turn and then breathing out on the way back to the side. So again, here we did quite a few repetitions, which is well suited for the winter time. It's quite cold in our gym at this moment. So after the hip dominant work of the snake palm, the preparatory movements, practicing the Tiangan exercises really serves well in warming up the body to get ready for the next steps in the practice session. Tiangan number 2, variation number B here, long and low. Those Tiangan exercises should be practiced at least twice a week. I don't recommend to practice it more often, especially in the beginning. It's quite intense on the back. After that, we moved back into the actual practice of the palm change of the snake smooth body palm, again focusing on each and every step and very clear positioning with clear counting. So this is step 1. We turn to step 2. We then move into step number 3, lowering the center of gravity and moving our upper body into a 45-degree angle before moving into step 4, the extension, almost leaning forward horizontally. Step 5, moving into the long gongbu stance, focusing here on the pushing of the secondary hand. And from here, moving into step 6 with the small outward rotation of the front foot before stepping forward and turning back to the side, followed by the single palm change, which also counts in 6 steps. Weight shift forward 1, then kobu 2, turning 3, stepping forward 4, turning to the outside of the circle 5, and turning back to the inside of the circle number 6. We did this to the other side as well, of course. Step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, Gongbu 5, and forward, step 6. Again, this is one of the hardest parts of the snake smooth body palm. It gets much easier if you don't forget to externally rotate your toes here just a little bit. It creates more space in the hip, but then the rest is work. So if you feel unstable in that position, the news is practice more. It will get much better after a while. So we kept on doing this. We went for a total of 10 repetitions with this fashion here. So step-by-step practice, which is still the most important part of your practice, especially in the beginning. And after that, we always try to practice the same motion, but combining each and every step. So there is still a counting and you will still recognize the positions, but from the outside you won't see the positions as positions that you hold. It's moving through. Very important concept that we will talk about later on when we practice the applications of the snake smooth body palm. So again, step by step here, making sure everybody in class understands the single postures. From here, second round, like I said before, practicing much smoother. So there is no stop, but it's a continuous movement flow from point 1 to point 6. Adding the single palm change here to change sides. And again, moving through all the positions at once. 1, 2, 3, down, 4, extension, 5, gongbu, and stepping forward. Number 6, moving straight into the single palm change for a continuous movement flow. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Throughout the whole movement, there should be no break. There should be no stopping point. The whole body is moving continuously throughout the whole pattern. One motion leads to the next, and the mind flows from one position to the other. This is a very lovely practice where you manage to keep your focus constantly on the thing you're doing, and it's very hard to get distracted in this kind of practice, which makes the Bagua Zhang circle walking such a nice and deliberate practice. We continued with circle walking exercise, 20 minutes in total, and since we have different people with different experience in class, this is always individual practice, so we all practice together, but everyone practices the palm changes that are most relevant for their progress. The only thing we did as a kind of overlapping theme was, or overarching theme was that we tried to step in such a way that there is no up and down motion in our body, but once we decide how low we want to move our center, we keep this height in our stepping and try to keep it fluent. Okay, there's the golden rule: go as low or step as low as you can without influencing or obstructing your stepping pattern. Okay, once you feel that you get stuck and you can't move fluently anymore, you need to to shift your or to move your center of gravity a little higher so you can move fluidly again. But always try to walk just on the edge of your capability. That will keep a constant development possible, and the practice won't get boring. So that's circle walking. I try to keep the circle walking part of the class short and deliberate, because we have not much time during the week where we can actually practice with a partner. I consider the circle walking practice as something that you do on a more or less daily basis for yourself at home or in a park or wherever you want. But the classroom really is for conditioning, for partner practice, and for learning new stuff. Not so much for the daily practice you need for developing good Kung Fu. Okay, from here we went into the review of the snake applications, or some of them, and here I focused again on the important idea that in order to throw someone or take someone down, you need to apply more than just one direction in order to make your opponent fall. So here I demonstrate again the combination of 3 directions. First, I lower my center of gravity. By that, I pull him down. Then I shift my weight back to the back leg, and then I rotate. It's very important that you go to the edges of this, or the furthest range of this motion, but you can't stop. You have to move fluidly. So I go down, back, and into rotation in one go. Otherwise, you will get stuck, and your opponent will be able to regain alignment and structure. So that was the first one, pulling back. Now the second one, moving forward. Again, it starts with rotation, then I lower the center, and then I move into a straight line in order to make him fall. Here, it's very important again that you need to move into the direction you want to throw your opponent to. So if I just rotate him and then push forward without lowering my center and moving into the direction he should fall, it doesn't work, but I have to move down and guide him into the direction he should fall. Okay, the third one is the sideways motion, but first I explained again that for the push down you need your shoulder, you need to block the motion with your arm. So third one, again, moving him into 3 different directions. So first I pull him forward, pulling him to the balls of his feet, then I lower my center through the step to the side and lowering his center as well. And once he's moved to the balls of his feet, the center is lowered, then I add the rotation and I can throw him into the space next to him. So again, I step back, therefore I pull him into my direction, I lower my center of gravity, and then I rotate to the side, using 3 directions in order to make him fall. One more time, stepping back to the side and adding the push from the inside of the knee. That's possible, as well as blocking the knee or striking. And that was just a review, and now we went into a more dynamic practice format than last week. This time we had our partner pull and push us around and find the appropriate time to apply one of those 3 throws, either to the back, to the front, or to the side. And in the beginning, it's very important that you give your partner a very clear direction. So, for example, I pull him like 3 or 4 times, or I push him 3 or 4 times until he feels the direction and can choose the right application. If your partner gets more successful, you lower the rate of your movements. Okay, you lower the amount of pulls or pushes, so he has to make quicker decisions, but you always go for a success rate of, let's say, 70%. And once your partner gets more successful, and then you just lower the amount of pushes or pulls, so he has to make quicker decisions until he won't have to think anymore. But that's for the next classroom session. Speak again next week.